There was a time when Vivian Green's voice was everywhere. From heartbreak anthems to soulful bops, she had R&B fans deep in their feelings with hits like the 2002 chart-topping single Emotional Rollercoaster. But after blessing us with some of the most soul-stirring vocals, the Philadelphia native disappeared from mainstream music. Did the industry push her out? Was it label drama? Did she step away by choice? If you love R&B history and forgotten legends, this is one deep dive you don't want to miss. Grab your favorite goodies from rrgsnacks.com, like our bacon jerky, butter toffee peanuts, and gummy sour peach rings. And let's find out what really happened to Vivian Green. Vivian Green was raised in a home where Motown classics were always on repeat. Her parents were very musically inclined, with her mother being a singer and her father, who worked as an engineer, playing the trumpet in his free time.
All of my siblings and I, we all do something creative and artsy. Motown was always playing. You know, I knew every Motown song by the time I was 7.
Really?
Yeah, I knew all the Supremes.
She started singing when she was 5 and learned how to play the piano at the age of 8. By the age of 11, she was writing her own songs. From there, she knew she wanted to sing professionally. At the age of 13, she joined a girl group called Unique. The group didn't last long, and Vivian shifted her focus back to songwriting. Fellow Philly native Michael McCary of Boyz II Men became her manager while she was still in high school. By the way, we did a deep dive on why Michael no longer performs with Boyz II Men, and we've linked the video for you in our description box. Michael took her to an industry party, and Vivian performed a song on the piano. Execs at the party were ready to sign her immediately. However, her parents weren't feeling it.
My father didn't want me to be a singer, and I was still underage, so he wouldn't sign it. So
that's what daddies do.
I know. I think he had good intentions, and I was so sad, but I kept writing.
She received her big break when she was still in high school. She co-wrote Boyz II Men's 1997 song Dear God, which was featured on their album Evolution. She was hired to work on Britney Spears' demo and continued writing songs every day after school. Vivian said, "Michael wanted me to write as much as I could and record as much as I could to grow. That was such an important time in my life." She also worked on her own demo with singer and songwriter Eric Roberson. All of their hard work paid off when Columbia Records signed her when she was 16. Her high school allowed her to graduate in 3 years instead of 4 so she could focus on her career. But then, 1 year after getting signed, everything fell through and her album was shelved. Vivian felt lost and confused. She got to work by recording a new demo. She performed at different jazz spots in Philly, and she sang with various bands. She said, "It was a lot vocally and really pushed my range to its limit, having to sing everything from Celine Dion to Whitney Houston, Donna Summer, Nat King Cole, and everything in between." She got hired to sing backup for another Philly artist, Jill Scott, before Jill's first album was released. Although it was a good experience, Vivian said she knew she didn't want to be a backup singer forever. Eventually, Columbia Records was ready to give Vivian her time to shine. Her debut album was released in 2002 and was certified gold. The song Emotional Rollercoaster peaked at number 13 on the R&B charts. She told Nappy Thought's website that most of the songs were written before she turned 21, most of which were about her first love who broke her heart. She said, "If I didn't keep putting myself in ridiculous situations back then, I wouldn't have written those sad songs. My standards weren't where they should have been." Thankfully, her music resonated with fans.
Yeah, because she wasn't the only one whose standards wasn't where they were supposed to be.
She was right in the midst of the neo-soul wave that was taking over. But did she have staying power, or would she be a one-hit wonder? It took her longer than expected to release her second album because she found out she was pregnant with a baby boy. The father was Philly musician Eric Trippett, who played the drums in her Emotional Rollercoaster music video. They got engaged and broke up before their child was born. Doctors told her that her baby had an unknown syndrome that would affect his bones. She told BlackAmericaWeb.com that doctors told her the baby was going to pass away and she could legally terminate the pregnancy. Vivian said, "But he had started moving by that time, and I couldn't do it." Her son Jordan was born in 2004, weighing just 3 pounds. He had underdeveloped bones, a cyst on his brain, and a dent in his skull. Doctors told her he only had 7 days to live due to his rare and mysterious condition. Vivian told blackdoctor.org that during that time she contemplated taking her own life. She said, "At that point, I definitely didn't want to be here. I didn't think it could get any lower than that." But she pushed through, and Jordan beat the odds, although it wasn't easy. At 2 years old, he stopped eating and needed to be fed through a tube for a year. Her child's father was long gone by then, and Vivian said she hadn't spoken to him in years. She told Essence magazine, "Ours was a destructive relationship, and though he never hit me, it was just toxic. He was very unstable, and honestly, I think he needs help." Although she was going through her own personal turmoil, Vivian didn't completely put her career on the back burner. She released her sophomore album, Vivian, in 2005. The album received plenty of praise and compliments and spun the popular single Gotta Go, Gotta Leave, Tired. The album also includes the song Under My Skin, which she wrote for her child's father to express everything he did to push her buttons. In 2009, she was looking for a new style and sound, so she switched record labels and signed with E1 Music. The following year, she dropped her third album, Beautiful. She had moved past the Negro Please songs of her past and was instead focused more on positivity. Then came another break, which Vivian is known for. She told Vibe magazine that during her numerous hiatuses, she focused on her son. She spent time homeschooling him and taking care of him after his surgeries. Her fourth album, The Green Room, was released in 2012. Unfortunately, the album barely cracked the top 200 charts. She appeared on season 3 of TV1's Verses and Flow in 2013. And then, after finishing her commitment to E1, she signed with legendary rapper and producer Kwame's indie label Make Noise Records. People believe she and Kwame have a little something going on, but we cannot confirm this allegation.
Now, baby, that's a good-looking black man right there, okay? If it ain't true, Vivian, come here. Make it true.
She released the album Vivid in 2015. By that point, things in the industry had drastically changed. Vivian told Essence magazine that social media had taken over the world, and she had to get used to infusing the internet into her business model. One area of her life that was running smoothly was the romance department. She told Essence magazine she had a wonderful man in her life after being single for 4 years. However, getting married and having more children weren't on her to-do list. She said, "I think the ideals of marriage ruin relationships, and I just don't want to be that girl who does that. Marriage scares me a little bit." In recent years, Vivian has released 2 more albums, VGV1 in 2017 and Love Absolute in 2020. Neither album made the charts. However, Vivian told Soul Bounce website she felt liberated to explore her creativity without the spotlight, judgment, or criticism that comes with being on a major label. Her music has grown and evolved throughout the years, especially since her first album was released in her 20s, and she was in her 40s when her 2020 album was released. She told Nappy Thoughts website, "I would never tolerate the kind of men I wrote about on albums 1 and 2. They wouldn't stand a chance now." Music isn't her top priority anymore. On her Instagram page, she describes herself as a full-time mom and a part-time singer and songwriter. She is a staunch advocate for parents of special needs children, and she helps her son film motivational content for his Instagram account. Looking back at her career, Vivian told You Know I Got Soul website that her first studio album is her least favorite. She said she was young and too inexperienced to speak up for herself and take control of the direction of the album. She said, "I don't think I understood some of the choices and decisions that were made, were things that people would try to hold me to for the rest of my existence." Either way, Vivian obviously made some great choices early on in her career. While other artists have spoken out against the shady dealings of the recording industry, Vivian hasn't had that same issue. She told R&B Junkie website that she is compensated for all of the songwriting she has done through the years, and she gets paid for her live performances. She added, "I've had ups and downs, but I've never had to do anything else but music." Although she hasn't released an album since 2020, she still performs occasionally. Being on stage transports her to an amazing place where everything feels perfect despite the heartbreak that's behind some of her lyrics. She told Vibe magazine, "I feel incredibly blessed to be able to do that and continue to do that through ups and downs." Are you surprised by what happened to Vivian Green? Do you think her career should have been bigger than it was? Let us know your thoughts down below. And thanks for watching RRG.